Good morning everybody and welcome to Darvanalee Designs Studio. This is our fortnightly live tutorial. Today we are going to be making some cute little wonder clip trays. So I've got them in various sizes. So that's the smallest one that I have. And this one was a gift from Mel from Love Me Patterns when I went to one of her retreats. And the reason that I'm doing this as a tutorial today is because just recently I have been asked numerous times on how to make this, where I got it from, is there a pattern for it? No, there's not a pattern for it, but I'm going to show you how it's made anyway. So we've got different sizes. So you can see here we've got a larger one that can hold probably about 30 or 40 wonder clips. Then we've got a smaller one that's down a little bit down from that, and that holds about 15 to 20. And then we've got the little one that Mel gave me, and I've also got one as well that I've made here, and that holds about 10, and that's really good. Like, I have a few of these scattered around the studio because, you know, you just don't know where you're going to be sitting and where you're going to need a wonder clip. So I have them near the iron, I have them near all my sewing machines. Beck's got them near her sewing machine. So yeah, so basically we're going to get stuck into it in just a moment. We'll wait for a few more people to get on. I can see that a few people are starting to chat now, so good morning to everybody that's joining us. You're going to need a few things today. You're going to need a pair of scissors, a rotary cutter. You're also going to need a couple of rulers. You're going to need some fusible fleece and your fabric. You're going to need lining fabric as well as some exterior fabric. And the sizes that you're going to need for the larger size, it's 6-inch square, so you'll need a lining and an exterior and a piece of fusible fleece fused to the exterior of your fabric. And the smaller one, which is this size here, you're going to need a 4.5-inch square of lining and also your exterior fabric, and you're also going to need that fusible fleece on that, and that gives it a little bit of structure. And no matter what size you do, even the small one, this is a little 3.5-inch square one, you'll need a little. I don't have interfacing on this one and it still holds its form okay, so you can always leave it off if you don't. For the bigger sizes though, you have these with fusible fleece. So I just seen someone was saying that one year they made these for presents with chocolates in them, so that's a really good idea too. I like that idea.
Oh, so do I.
I might use that idea for our next retreat. So instead, we normally make a little one to put in our goodie bags for our retreats, and we pop a few. How many? We usually pop 10 wonder clips in it as well. Hi Susan, thanks very much for joining us today. You're going to need a marking device. As I said, you're going to need some quilting rulers. You're also going to need some double cap rivets and a setting tool or a rivet press. I'm using my rivet press today. Most people have setting tools, and you just use the setting tool as need be. You're also going to need some pins, a working sewing machine, an iron and an ironing pad. All right, so I think we're just about ready to get started. Oh, one thing I did forget, you're going to need a tailor's awl. That's the most important to make some holes. And I also have a little tool, that a leather punch that I use to make the holes, but not everybody has this tool, but most people have a tailor's awl, so grab one of those to work along with us today. All right, so we have a few people on. We're going to move ahead with the tutorial. If you've got any questions as we're going, Becca's off to the side. She will be able to answer them and let me know that you've asked a question. And we're going to get started. We're going to make the big one and the medium-sized one this morning, so it won't take us too long at all. So I'm going to set those ones aside. And the first thing that you're going to do is, well, I'm going to turn the camera down and then we're going to get started. Sorry if I make anybody sick. You can see my cup of tea there as well. I'll move that out of the way because I can see what's going to happen with that. That's going to get knocked over. All right, so off camera, I have actually already cut my pieces. So as I said, the large one, and all the measurements are down underneath this video for you. So you can just grab a pen and paper and write that down. And it also, after the video, I will share it over onto my blog, so you'll be able to find it nice and easy over there as well. And it'll be just under the heading of tutorials. So you're going to cut 2 squares of fabric at 6 inches each. and then you're going to cut a piece of fusible fleece and you're going to fuse that to the exterior. I've done all that off camera just to save us a little bit of time this morning. And once that's fused on, you're going to take your 2 pieces of fabric and you're going to face them right sides together, and hopefully everybody can see that okay. We've got a light this morning shining on it. Is it clear, Beck?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, cool, no worries. All right, and you're just going to grab your pins and you're going to line up all your raw edges with the right sides together, and you're just going to pin them together, and then we'll head over to the sewing machine and we'll sew a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance all the way around. On one side though, you're actually going to get your friction pen and you're just going to make a mark and you're going to leave that as a gap, and I'll bring that up to the camera so you can see there that I've just marked that, and I'm not going to sew in that area. And we'll continue pinning that around. These make super great gifts. I love them. They're great. We've got them everywhere. Alrighty, so we're going to head over to the sewing machine, and all you're going to do is you're going to start at one end of your mark and you're going to sew a 1/4 inch all the way around, and then you're going to stop when you get to the next mark, and you're going to reverse at the beginning and at the end. Just move this a little bit closer. And we'll just bring that there so you can see what I'm doing. And my machine was playing up yesterday, so hopefully she's not playing up this morning. So I gave her a bit of a test. She was being a bit temperamental. She didn't want to work yesterday.
That's not good.
No, I was not happy about that at all. How's that look with that camera angle there, Beck? Is that...
Yep, looks good.
Yep.
You can see what you're doing.
Okay, so we're coming back up to where we've marked, and we just do a little bit of a back stitch. We'll remove all our pins. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're just going to grab your scissors, and on each corner you're just going to take a little piece out off this corner, and that'll just help it turn through and give you a nice point. So I like to do that on each of my corners, and then I just come in and sort of just trim a little bit excess off and not take off the stitches or anything like that. So get as close as I can and get rid of any excess interfacing that might be sticking out as well, and just reduce some of that bulk. Okay, get rid of my rubbish. Just make a big mess everywhere. Alright, so I can set that aside, and then I'm going to repeat exactly the same thing with the smaller one as well. Lining up all my raw edges, making those marks to remind me not to sew there. This is a great beginner's project too, so not too technical, pretty quick, almost like instant gratification. Have something at the end that's done. Woo. Alright, so I'll quickly sew this together, again just using a 1/4 inch. And I'll just bring that a little bit closer for you. And don't forget to back stitch at the beginning and at the end. It's really important because we've got to turn it through. Anybody got any questions yet, Beck?
No questions, but I just asked where everyone was going.
Okay. So where have we got people watching from?
We've got Longford in Victoria.
Oh, hello, Victoria.
Arizona.
Oh,
Redcliffe here in Queensland.
cool.
West Virginia.
Awesome.
Tamworth.
That's Susan.
Yes, that's Susan.
Yep.
And Dorothy is joining us from the UK, and she said it is 0.38 here in the UK. Is that temperature she's talking about?
I don't know. No,
Oh
because
no, that's the time.
That's the time.
It's 38 minutes past 12 at night, and she stayed up to watch us.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Dorothy.
Thank you.
Sarah's from Branson in MO. What state is that?
Missouri.
Missouri in
Yep.
the USA.
Yep. I'm getting better with my states, ladies. I am getting better with the abbreviations. Sometimes you trip me up. So I hope I'm right. Missouri.
Yeah.
Is it Sarah? Sarah is actually new to the channel, and we've been chatting in comments and everything like that. Lorraine from the Gold Coast. Hi, Lorraine. How you going? We've also got Mara from Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
Aloha.
And PJ from Redmond in Washington.
Wow. Well, there you go. We've got quite an eclectic little group happening this morning. Welcome, everybody.
And Lorraine from the Gold
Gold
Coast.
Coast, yes. We're starting to see your name more and more now, Lorraine. It's
Yes.
lovely to see that you're joining us all the time.
It is.
Okay, so we've sewn them together. Now all we need to do is actually just turn these in the right way. So you just stick your finger in. I go right to the far corner, and then I will just pull that out, and then we'll give that a really good press, and then we'll top stitch that closed. And we'll jump over to this one, and I do apologise if you can hear my neighbour's blower vac. He is he's changed his days. He normally does it on a Tuesday. Can you hear it? Shouldn't be able to.
I don't think I can hear it.
No, you shouldn't be able to, because I've got the mic on today, so my phone normally does pick it up because I hear it when I edit videos.
Like I can sometimes hear cars going past,
Yeah.
but I can't hear the blower vac, so that's good.
That's good. He's changed his day. He normally used to do it on a Monday, and now he does it on a Wednesday. All right, so if you've got some sort of poking device, just get your corners right out. And how's everybody today? What are you all working on? You hopefully having a nice crafty day. Although the day's only just really started for us here in America. In Australia.
We're in Australia.
The day is ending for America is what I meant to say. So most of you have probably already done all your crafting and just relaxing for the afternoon now. And, well, UK, oof, thank you so much for staying up, Dorothy. Really do appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now we've turned that all in the right way. We're going to give that a really good press. But before we do, I like to just finger press my openings under and get them to, and it should just fold straight under for you and give you that nice 1/4 inch. And then I just pop one of my glass head pins. Now, if you don't have a glass head pin, that's fine. You can just head over to the ironing board or ironing pad, and you can just manipulate it with your fingers. So, but I'm going to hold that in place with a little pin. And the same on the smaller one. You can see how quick they do go together. Like, these are a great gift, and as was it, I can't remember who it was that said that they used them for chocolates not too long ago. Was that Ilsa? I think it was it?
How do you pronounce?
I don't know how to pronounce
I
it.
don't know.
Because it's,
ILSE.
yeah. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Because there's no A. I thought it was Ilsa. Ilse, maybe? Don't know. So give that a really good press. Making sure that everything, and some of you might be wondering why I didn't pink and take away the bulk out of that. I like to leave the bulk in these because it it just gives it a little bit more structure around the top once we top stitch it. So a lot of people do use their pinking shears to take away that excess bulk when they're making things like mug rugs or coasters or anything like that, because it's a similar way of making them. But for something like this, I don't actually take away that bulk because I want that there. Just watch your hand there, Beck. Yes. I'm not touching any cords, am I?
No.
Okay. I just want that bulk there, and it's just going to give it a little bit more stability, so when I pick it up, it's not going to fall in on itself. So now what we're going to do is we're going to lengthen our stitch length up to 3, and then we're going to go back to the sewing machine and we're going to stitch 1/8 of an inch all the way around, and that's going to close up that gap that we left.
Thank you, Valerie. That's my pink iron. It's gorgeous, isn't it? I love the colour of it too.
Everything's pink. My logo's pink.
Day today.
Yeah, the logo on the business is pink. The iron's pink. What we're working with today is pink. It's a pink day today.
It is very pink.
And to all those that are left-handed, happy left-handed day for yesterday. I'm just... Ilse, yeah, that's what I thought. It might have been Ilse. Wasn't too sure.
Well, Ilse is she's firing up Daisy, her long arm, today to do a quilt.
And my long arm's name is Penny. I like Daisy. I had a car named Daisy once. Daisy was great. And you can never get mad at anybody named Daisy either.
No, yeah, I have to agree. What's Sarah doing? She spent most of the day running errands due to illness in home.
Oh, no.
It's no good. But hopes to work on hand stitching, on binding. Stitching the binding of my late mama's quilt.
Oh, nice. Okay, so now you just repeat that with the second one. So I'm just putting the bigger one through.
Ilse does get mad at Daisy when she doesn't want to play the game.
I know, I get quite crabby at Penny at times too. You can ask Beck, she's heard all sorts of lovely things coming from the other end of the studio when I'm at the long arm machine. And sometimes Penny gets put in time out. Or maybe I put myself in time out. That's probably more to the point because I can't exactly move the machine. No. I walk away from the machine, so I put myself in time out. And sometimes you've just got to do that. Now you would have been noticing that I've got the tailors all just coming into the screen down here. Sometimes if you've got a little bit of bulk in your corners, your machine might give you a little bit of grief and you might not be able to get it to, especially working with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, you might not get it to turn very well. And as I said, my machine was giving me a bit of grief yesterday and it's doing it again this morning. So I just put my tailors all just the point of it and just grab the fabric and just give it a little bit of a help along, so on those corners. So if you are having trouble getting through that little bit of bulk because we're working with smaller pieces of fabric, just I'll just turn the camera a little bit and you'll be able to see it. So you can see I've got the tailors all, and just at I've just come down to this corner, and so basically I just put the tailors all underneath the presser foot, the point, and I just grab the seam of the fabric and I just give it a little bit of help. And then when I come down this way, I again just slide it under because there's that bulk there. The presser foot is up a little bit, and so I can just get that. You can see it just slides under there without any issue at all, and then I can just help it along. Doesn't happen all the time on this machine, but she does a lot of work and she's just about ready for another service, I think.
Is she?
Yeah, she's done a lot of hours. She's done some quilting, and I like to, because it's for the business and I use it all the time, I generally every 6 months I get it done because it does do a lot of work. Yeah. You know, like most days it's running.
True.
Same as my long arm machine. My long arm machine gets looked at every 12 months. And if it starts making any weird noises, it's off. He comes to me, so I don't have to worry about it too much. All right, so we have top stitched that. You want to get rid of all your long strangly threads, get them out of the way, and you can see there that we've just top stitched that along there, and we've done the same for this one here. All right, now we'll move on to our next step. Okay, so I'm making the floral part as my exterior, so I'm going to flip it over, and there's a couple of measurements that you've got to do because we've got to stitch the base into the square. So I just grab my little, I've got these little inch rulers, and they're available on our website. You can get them in 6-inch or 12-inch. And basically the lines on this, I'll just put it there, the lines on this are quite dark and quite prominent, so it makes it really easy to mark out any marks that you've got to do on your fabric. So I just grabbed my friction pen, and not from where I've stitched, but from the edge of the fabric, I placed the 3/4 mark on the edge of that, so you can see there, and then I just draw a line straight across, just like so, and then I'm going to repeat that all the way around. And what this is doing is creating a square inside the tray, and we're going to stitch on that.
Dorothy loves your little ruler.
Thank you. It's super easy. I've always got it, and
Yeah. I love using it too.
I get quite upset if I can't find it.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
Everybody gets frisked. Who's got my ruler? They're great, like, and I think they're only $6.95 too. So they're really Australian. So basically, I use it for everything. I use it for foundation paper piecing, when I've got to mark out any seams or anything like that. It's just nice and easy. It's not big and bulky. And the markings are really easy to see on it as well. So you can see, like, I'll just put it up here. So you can see the 1/4 inch is the solid mark, and then the 1/8 of an inch is a dash mark. So it makes it super easy to read it across the inch. All right, so that's what I've done. Just placed a square inside, and we're just placing the 3/4 of an inch on our ruler, and we're going to do that's on the 6-inch square that we just sewed, and on the 4.5 one, it is 5/8. So we line up our 5/8. And draw the line. It is definitely good to be back at work, I must admit, and not feel it.
Sick.
And I still feel a little bit average, but I don't feel like I'm going to pass out. So
That's good.
yeah. So basically what we're doing, and I'll just turn this in so you can see, we are going to, so there's our top stitching. We are going to be stitching on that line, and that is going to give you, like, it's going to make a nice little square on the bottom. So we're going to head over to the sewing machine again, and we're going to just stitch on that line all the way around. If you're having trouble with your presser foot and you can't see, you can always use an open toe foot. That makes life a little bit easier. And we're just sewing on that inner square. We're not going all the way to the edge. And we're going to repeat that for the next one. I was having a little bit of a giggle this morning with Sarah Shepherd. She watched our floss tube this morning, and said, just watch your stash grow very quickly. And she was a cross stitcher before she was a quilter. So yeah, I had a little bit of a giggle this morning. I'm like, yeah, that's already happening, because I have a wish list a mile long. Yes, I do use my vintage machine quite a bit for these sorts of projects there, Sarah. I don't tend to use it on camera for the live tutorials because she's so heavy to move and she's set up. But I am going to be moving her when we do we're actually going to do some renovations here. So once she gets moved into place, I'll possibly be able to use her a little bit more for some of these live streams because a lot of people do ask me about her all the time. So yeah.
And you have done some videos.
Yeah, I have done some videos with her. I think my zipper pouch, the zipper, easy zipper tabs I used her, and I think one of my
a couple of times in videos.
Yeah.
So it's good to see her grace the screen.
Yeah, she makes an appearance every now and again. Alrighty, so there you go. You can see I haven't gone off the edge here. I've just sewn that in a square. Now you can press that and get rid of all the lines from your friction pen. And I know there is some controversy about the friction pens leaving marks and all the rest of it. I have not had that case, and this is just a tray, so you're not even going to see it. So you can see there that I've stitched on the inside, and now we are up to actually putting in our rivets. So we can set the iron aside now, and basically what's going to happen is we are just going to fold it in half, and hopefully I can pick this up on camera, and I'll turn it around, and you can see there that you've got that stitch line there. I'll come up a bit closer, and then you've got the top stitching line. Now I'm going to put a hole about halfway between, so about 1/4 inch up from the crease at the bottom and about halfway between these two lines of stitching. Is that clear on the...
Yep, it looks good.
Alright, so that's where I'm going to put the hole, and that works out to be about 1/2 inch. Now I use this little, this is a leather belt hole punch. We've got these listed over on our kit site, so kit.com, DD's favourite things. Beck will find that and pop that in there, but we've got these listed up over there as well as the rivet press and everything, so they're available on Amazon and a few different other places. But if you can't find it, it is a leather belt hole punch. So as I said, I just put a hole there, and you can see there that that makes it super easy, and the hole is there between both sides. You don't need to grip it real hard or punch it real hard. It's quite sharp. It only gets used for fabric, so it's not dull or anything like that. And you can see there that the tailor's awl has gone through there quite nicely. All right, and if you don't have one of those, you can just use a tailor's awl. That works just as well. Okay, so I'll just pop a wonder clip on that to hold that in place, and then I'm going to go and do exactly the same thing, lining up my edges, making sure that I've got a nice point out here, and then again I just come up about 1/4 inch and about halfway between, and you just have to eyeball that. I've made so many of these, I could probably do it in my sleep these days. Excuse me. And I always just stick the tailors all through just to make sure that the chamber's clear that I've got to put it through. All right, so then you're going to grab these double capped, before they go everywhere, I'll just pop them over here. Oh, can you grab me the tray that they come out of? There's the 8mm ones, because I don't have the caps for them. Over this end. Beck, this end. See there, the pieces of paper it'll have. Okay. Yeah, at the top one, I think it's... Are they 8mm?
No, they're not.
Yeah, I need the 8mm ones. That's them. That's it.
Well.
Yeah, there's 8 in the back.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you. Sorry about that. All right. So you've got... Sorry about that. I thought I had the caps there. So basically, you've got one that has got a prong on it, and then you've just got a cap. Okay, and all you're going to do is pop them through, and then you pop the cap on, and I do the same thing for the other side. Is there any more up there? Because we're nearly out of 8mm.
No, that's all.
Just look at those. There's the caps. Okay, cool. Take those ones back. Sorry about that. All right. Okay.
I didn't see that label.
There we go. All right, so we'll just pop that on. Okay. So you can see there that they're just holding in place. They won't come out because they're capped on, but they're not pressed into place just yet. So now what I can do is I can do the same thing for the other side, where we've got those points, and then again just 1/4 inch up, and we're going to pop a rivet in there. Now if you don't have a press, you can just use a setting tool, but if you're going to do lots of stuff with rivets, which I do for handbags and whatnot, the best thing I ever brought was the rivet press, and it'll come on camera in just a second, and you'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm just going to set that aside, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing for the smaller one, and I'm using the same size rivet in that, and for the next size down you probably want to use a 6mm rivet, because it's probably a little bit too big for the 8mm. Here I was thinking I was all organised.
You did say, I think I'm organised.
Yes, I did say that, didn't I? You know what thought did. And I just do this all in one go, for the simple fact is it's like a little production line then when you're putting them all through. So, hi Paula, thanks for joining us. So as I said, I didn't come up with this. So I got this as a gift from Mel, and from Love Me Patterns. I've done a few of her retreats now, and gone along as a guest, and basically, yeah, I just thought it was a super cute little idea, and everybody has been asking about, because it's always up in the top corner of my videos, and I've had emails about it, and I've had comments about it, and so yeah, so I thought, what better way than showing you how to make it on a live tutorial. Alrighty, so we've got all our rivets in now, so we can set them aside. We're finished with all our sewing as well, and then we've just got this press here, and it's a big press, so it's got a little bit of weight to it, so it sits on the table quite well. And now all I'm doing is I've already got the so I'll unscrew that to show you what it is. This little thing here sits in there, and then you've got the little rivet press, so it makes it super easy and less stressful on trying to get them straight or anything like that. So I just screw that in. This little part of it just slots into the bottom there, and then you just place our rivet into the center, and then you just give it a slight, and it'll just click down, and then that's locked it into place. And then I repeat that, and I'm sorry if it shakes the camera. You can hear that click. That's the rivet being closed, and that is not going to come undone, I can assure you. I have made errors where they've gone crooked, and yeah, you're putting that thing in the bin. So you can see there that that has created the corner. It makes it nice and easy to do. You don't have to worry about sewing it in the sewing machine or anything like that. And we're going to repeat that with the larger one as well. And then my last little tip for these to give them a little bit of structure is, doesn't involve any sewing, uses up scraps from my handbags or straps, leather straps that I make. I have some vinyl here that I use for this sort of thing, and so you can see how easy that was. So you can see why I just put them all in, and it's like a little production line. So we can put that aside now. But what I do is I get these little bits of leftover of vinyl from bags and purses and stuff like that, and what I do is I cut the square to fit inside it, and it just slots in. The corners go up into the corners quite snugly, and it just gives it a little bit of structure in the bottom of the tray. And I do that for this one. And the sizes for each one, so the 6-inch one, and I wrote it on the back so I wouldn't forget, is 3 5/8 square. And for this one here, it is a 2 3/8. And then you just, I didn't write down the size for the next one down for the 3 1/2, but that would probably be about 1 3/4, but you'd have to measure that. So I sit that in, and then I'll grab my Wonder Clips. And there you go. That is how we make the trays. That simple. And I like using the rivets, as I said, because I don't have to try and wrestle with the sewing machine to get that in there or have to worry about going through all that bulk. So they'll just sit beside our sewing machine now and they're ready to go. It's that easy. All right, I'm just going to move the camera up. Alrighty, so I hope you enjoyed that tutorial today. As I said, it's a nice, quick and easy one. It's a great one to have sitting beside your sewing machine, and as Beck can attest, I've got them sitting everywhere. I've got them near the iron, I have them near the sewing machines, near Beck's sewing machine. I've even got one in my bedroom where I throw my rings in, and the girls have got them as well. So we put our jewellery and stuff in, and that's generally what the bigger ones are used for. I have made them as gifts for with the Wonder Clips and everything in our goodie bags at the retreat. So they are super quick to make. Like, we've been on for 36 minutes. We've had a little bit of talking at the beginning and at the end, and so we've made 2 in that time. So you could really pump them out. I really like Elsie's idea of putting chocolates in them for Christmas. So you could do them in Christmas fabrics, make the larger tray, and pop some chocolates in there, put a little bit of cellophane and a ribbon on it, and away you go. You've got a nice tray that they can keep. And
I'm just thinking for teachers' gifts at the end of the year. Yes,
teachers' gifts at the end of the year, although America's just going back to school because they've just gone back to school, started going back to school in different places. So yeah, and the vinyl, as I said, the vinyl is not something that you see in a lot of them, but I just find that it just gives, you can see there, I can pick it up, and because that vinyl's in there, it's not crushing in. No, so you've got that, it does, doesn't it? Yeah. So you've got that fusible fleece in there, and then that little vinyl piece in there, and it also keeps the tray clean, because I'm a bit weird like that.
Dorothy likes the vinyl.
So this one here, as I said, this was from Mel. She didn't have the vinyl in hers. I've just added that in. So I had a little piece left over from a bag. I think that was actually cut out of a corner of a bag to box it up. And so, yeah, I just popped it in there. And you can see there that it doesn't come out very easy at all. So they are snug. And the measurements that I gave you, I will put I don't think I put them down last night because I was running late last night when I was doing all that, but I will put all the measurements that you need underneath this video, so that makes it super easy for when you come back. And yeah, hopefully we'll see a few of you posting them over in the group today. Super easy to make, like you'll smash them out of the park. So that's it from Beck and I today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you've got any more questions at all, just leave them in the comments down below. And we'll get back to you in the next few hours. We've got to get on with our work day, so we're done and dusted for the video today, and we've got a lot of stock that's come in, so we've got to get that priced up and listed up on the website. So thank you so much for joining us from all over the globe, and especially to Dorothy, who sat up to the wee hours of the early morning in the UK. I'm so glad that you came along to join in the fun, and we'll see you all again next time. Our next live tutorial is in 2 weeks, and we have our next floss tube going up tomorrow, and we'll see everybody that is regular on our Finish It Friday that is at 10 o'clock on Friday. I almost forgot the time then. So have a great day, everybody, and we'll talk to you all again soon. Bye for now.